Hello, my friends. My name is Darren Gerdes, and here are the three big stories for today. It is Sunday, May 5th, 2024. So this is the British intelligence update. On 17 April 2024, a decree signed by the pro-Russian governors of Zaporizhia Oblast states that Russia is preparing the necessary infrastructure and measures for military conscription in Russian-occupied areas of Zaporizhia. What that means is they can take Ukrainian citizens, conscript them into the Russian army, and then go make them fight Ukrainian soldiers. That would be devastating, but that's what they're preparing to do. Of course, at the same time, there's also other ways that they're holding their population in check to make them Russian citizens against their will. Mothers in hospitals in temporarily occupied Luhansk region are facing threats of having their newborns taken away unless either parent has a Russian citizenship. According to the ISW, these actions violate Article 2D of the Genocide Convention. So whether they're doing that or making them conscripted soldiers into Russia's army, even though they're actually Ukrainians, that's what the Russians are up to. Now, I think this is the kind of thing that's going to happen, and I can't trace the original source yet, so this is just from Twitter, so take it with a grain of salt. This is from Rockefeller Hero. Long story short, the Russians forced this man to join their military from one of the occupied regions. He ended up shooting 6 Russians and fled. Now, again, I can't prove that this guy actually did this thing, but I'm willing to guess that this kind of thing will happen more and more if this actually takes place where they are being conscripted in some kind of quantity. Okay, let's look to Georgia. What's happened here, Georgian president says that she's going to veto the law, the Russian foreign agents law that has Tbilisi and just like days and days and days of protests. Of course, the Georgian president accuses the government of being prone to making concessions to Russia, as they are, the ruling party. But while she can veto, and she plans to veto, she admits that the parliament can still override her veto, and then this will move Georgia further from Europe's orbit and closer to Russia. Okay, last story. Russia is plotting sabotage across Europe. I saw this in Nexta. I also looked it up in the Financial Times, and in First Post, here we are. We assess the risk of state-controlled acts of sabotage to be significantly increased, said Thomas Hadewing, head of German domestic intelligence. Russia now seems comfortable carrying out operations on European soil with a high potential for damage, he said at a European Security Conference last month. Okay, so the Russians are comfortable doing this, and to the degree that it happens and they get away with it, they're going to do more of it. Like if they do these things and then the Europeans, the NATO says, don't do that or that's going to be a problem, and then they don't do anything, it'll just grow and expand. Yesterday and the day before, I said, hey, come join me on Patreon. You can even join for free. I just want a backup plan where my audience is so that if anything happens on YouTube, and I was saying thank you to my undergrads and my graduates and my colleagues and my board members. And with the board members, I slaughtered one of my board members' name. Now, that's not a surprise if you know me. I'm an equal opportunity name screw-upper, but okay, this is my third try at this. And a couple people have joined me, so I now have a quorum. I have enough that we're going to do our Zoom meeting. So if you're a member of the board, let me know what's a good time for Zoom meetings. We'll be talking on Patreon. Thank you to ICE. Thank you to Alexander Violens, Nick DeRoider, Murray James, Indie Poker Dude, and John McElravy. That's how you pronounce it. I got it right this time. Whew. Okay, board members, thank you for your patronage, and let's talk about when we're going to have our Zoom meeting. Okay, last little bit. This is a fighter pilot came to an amusement park with his family. Let's see how exciting that is if you're a fighter pilot. I just thought it was interesting to see, like, yeah, you know, the things that make me a little nervous, probably not all that nerve-wracking to a fighter pilot, but okay. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.